Today is 26th of June, 1.3.59 till the end of the chapter 3. शुक्लः परमहंसानां धर्मं ज्ञापयितुं प्रभुः व्यक्तो गुणैर्वरिष्ठत्वाद् विख्यात वृषभाख्यया. To teach the religious principles of the Paramahamsas, the flawless Lord appeared as Rishabhadev. He is called Rishabha because he excels all in good qualities. Rishabhavataramah. Asya nama vyanjanaha. His name has been described in this text. His name is Rishabha. Sahari, Rishiviri Achidasan, that must be Prithu. Yes. Okay. Right. The pastimes of Rishabha, the grandson of Agnidhra, are related in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 3 to 6. Lord Brahma also describes his incarnation in the 2nd canto. Nabhe Rasavrishabha Asa Sute Visu Noryo Vai Chachara Samadrigyada Yoga Charya Yad Paramahamsyam Rishaya Padamamananti Swastah Prashanta Karana Parimutta Sangha. The Lord appeared as the son of Sudevi, Meru Devi, the wife of King Nabhi, and was known as Rishabhadev. He performed Jada Yoga to equibalance the mind, to train the mind to be balanced while experiencing various extremities of material experience. This stage is also accepted as the highest perfection situation of liberation, wherein one is situated in oneself and is completely satisfied. Shri Pratuhu Tatraiva Rishibhiryachito bheje navam parthivam vapuhu dugdhe mamoshadhir vipras kenayam sa ushattamaha iti. Shri Prithu is also described in the 1st canto. O Brahmanas, in the 9th incarnation, the Lord prayed for by sages accepted the body of a king, Prithu, who was most attractive and who cultivated the land to yield various products. So Hari Rishibhir Yachita's son. So this Lord Hari, he was, the rishis begged him to appear. Parthivam Bhuvu, Rajadeham Veje. He accepted the body of a king, Charitamaha. His activities was in milking the earth. So in that way, Sri Prithu was very attractive. Namasya Vyanakti Mathyamana. Mathyamana must be the next verse. Yes. The name Prithu indicates this avatar's relationship with the earth, Prithvi, as her ruler. Srila Sudha Goswami uses the word Parthiva, earthly king, to indicate this to the assembly of Brahmanas headed by Shaunaka. Customarily, any ordinary king on earth can be called Parthiva, but in this case, Sri Prithu was actually the master of the entire earth. He was able to reprove Prithvi and induce her to give up her reluctance to produce food for everyone. Mathyamananam Muniganair Asavyad Vena Bahutaha Pradurbhuto Maharaja Shuddha Swarna Ruchih Prithu. When the sages churned Vena's dead body, the greatly king Prithu, with a complexion as effulgent as pure gold, appeared from Vena's right arm. Asavya Dakshinat Chaturthe Khyatamasya Charitam. The 4th canto deals with his activities. He's very famous. Prithu literally means broad, which points to an alternative interpretation of this incarnation's name, that he appeared from the broad right arm of Vena. Prithu Maharaj's history is told in the 4th canto, chapters 14 to 23. Lord Brahma describes him as follows. Yadvena mutphatagatam vijavakyavajran nishputtapaurushabhagam niraye patantam tratvarthito jagati putra padam chalebhe dugdha vasuni vasudha sakala niyena. Maharaj Vena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him with a thunderbolt curse. By this curse, King Vena was burnt with his good deeds and opulence and was en route to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son by the name of Prithu, delivered the condemned King Vena from hell, and milked the earth, drawing out all kinds of crops as produce. आद्ये व्यक्ता कुमाराद्या कृत्वन्ताश्च त्रयोदशः कोलमत्स्यो पुनर्व्यक्तिं चाक्षुषीयेतु जग्मतुः. The 13 incarnations beginning with the Kumaras and ending with Prithu appeared in the first Manvantara, and the boar and fish incarnations appeared again in the Chakshusha Manvantara. अथ श्री नृसिंह तत्रैव चतुर्दशं नारसिंहं बिभ्रद्दैत्येन्द्रमूर्जितं करजैरूरावेरकां कटकृत्यथा इति. Sri Nrsimha is also described in the first canto. In the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Nrsimha and bifurcated the strong body of the atheist Hiranyakashipu with his nails, just as a carpenter pierces cane. In Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Lord Nrsimha's special kindness toward Prahlad is mentioned by Brahma, by Shiva, and by Prahlad himself. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 17, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes the incidents of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assuming the mood of Sri Nrsimha and Nrsimha's threatening Chankazi for his obstruction of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Lord Nrsimha's killing Hiranyakashipu and blessing Prahlad. In the 5th canto, Prahlad, while living in Harivarsha, offers prayers to Lord Nrsimha. In the 2nd canto, Lord Brahma has this to say about the Nrsimha avatar. Traipishtapor-bhayahasa Nrsimha-rupam kritva brahmadbhuputi damshtrakarala-vatram Daityendra-mashugadayapipatantamaradurau nipatya vidadaranakhaispurantam. The personality of God had assumed the incarnation of Nrsimhadev in order to vanquish the great fears of the demigods. When the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, challenged the Lord with a club in his hand, the Lord killed the demon, placing him on his thighs and piercing him with his nails while moving his eyebrows in anger and showing his fearful teeth and mouth. अस्य लक्ष्मी नृसिंहाद्या विलासा बहवः स्मृता तत्र पद्म पुराणादौ नानावर्ण विचेष्टिता. This incarnation has many vilasa expansions, such as Lakshmi Nrsimha, as mentioned in the Padma Purana and other scriptures. These expansions manifest various colors and activities. The following verse is part of the Padma Purana's discussion of Lord Nrsimha's various pastime expansions. Nanakara Nrsimhastu Nana Cheshta Samanvita Janaloke Cha Vaikunthe Nityadhamni Chakasati. The many different forms of Lord Nrsimha perform various pastimes. They appear even in Janaloka and in the eternal abode of Vaikuntha. Vyakti Samayam Tasyaha. When did he appear? That is stated in the next verse. Shashtentare Bhti Mathana Nrihare Purva Bhavita Atah Pragesha Purnade Vyaktim Shashtentare Gataha. Lord Nrsimha appeared in the 6th Manvantara before the churning of the milk ocean. Thus he appeared prior to Kurma and the other incarnations who appeared in the 6th Manvantara. श्रीकूर्मः तत्रैव सुरासुराणामुदधिं मथ्नतां मन्दराचलं तन्त्रे कमठरूपेण पृष्ठ एकादशे विभुः. Sri Kurma is also described in the first canto. The 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandara hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and atheists of the universe. Another name of Lord Kurma is Ajita. By that name, he is included in the Srimad Bhagavatam among the Manvantara avatars. Srila Rupa Goswami will discuss these Manvantara avatars in the next chapter of the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. The appearance of Lord Kurma during the churning of the milk ocean is described in the 7th chapter of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the prayers to Lord Kurma by Aryama and other residents of Hiranmaya Varsha are described in the 5th canto. Lord Brahma describes this incarnation to his son Narada thus: Kshiro dadhavamaradana vayutapana munmatnatamamrita labdhaya adideva prishtena kachapava purvidadhara gotram nidrakshano kashana kandu. The primeval Lord then assumed the tortoise incarnation in order to serve as the resting place for the Mandara mountain, which was acting as a churning rod. The demigods and demons were churning the ocean of milk with the Mandara mountain in order to extract nectar. The mountain rotated back and forth, scratching the back of Lord Tortoise, who, while partially sleeping, was experiencing an itching sensation. Padme proktam dathe kshaunim ayam mevartita surai shastrantere tu bhudhari kalpado prakato bhavat. The Padma Purana says that this same avatar of Lord Kurma, when requested by the demigods, also lifted the entire earth. Other scriptures, however, say that Kurma made his appearance at the beginning of Brahma's day to hold up the earth. According to Sri Padma Purana, the same Kurma avatar who lifted the Mandara mountain later lifted the entire earth from the lower regions of the universe. Other scriptures, however, including the Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, describe the Kurma who perpetually holds up the earth as the one who lifted Mandara mountain. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan prefers this last version as the more reasonable, especially since Srila Rupa mentions it last. Sulagnatvat Uttaratvacha Siddhanta Bodhya. Shri Dhanvantari Mohinyau Tatraiva Dhanvantaram Dvadashamam Trayodashamam Evacha Apayayat Surananyan Mohinya Mohayan Striya Iti. Shri Dhanvantari and Mohini are also described in the first canto. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantari, and in the 13th, he allured the atheists by the charming beauty of a woman and gave nectar to the demigods to drink. Dhanvantari Vapusha Sudhamaniya Mohini Vapusha Asuran Mohayan Tam Suran Apayayat Ityasa. In the form of Dhanvantari, he brought celestial nectar, and in the form of Mohini, he bewildered the Asuras, and she gave it to the Suras, the demigods, to drink. During the pastime of the churning of the milk ocean, Lord Dhanvantari, the first teacher of medical science, appeared in order to deliver nectar, the object of the demigods and demons' endeavor. The demons immediately seized the pot of nectar from Lord Dhanvantari's hands, and to recover it, the Supreme Lord appeared in another form disguised as a female. Tatra Shri Dhanvantari Shashte cha Saptame cha ayam virravirbhavam agataha. Of these, Sri Dhanvantari appeared twice in the 6th and 7th Manvantaras. They have specific characteristics, so therefore he is writing about them separately. In the 6th means in Shashte, Chakshusha Manvantara. Saptame, Vaivasutiye, in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. Shashtentare Bhim Mathanat, Dhritamrita Kamandalu, Udgato Dvibhujashyama Ayurveda Pravartakaha, Saptame cha Tatharupa, Kashiraja Suto Bhavat. In the 7th Manvantara, he rose from the churning of the ocean with 2 arms and a dark blue complexion, and he initiated the teaching of the Ayurveda. In the 7th Manvantara, he appeared in a similar form as a son of the king of Kashi. The words similar form in this verse indicate that both avatars of Lord Dhanvantari, the one who appeared during the reign of Chakshusha Manu and the one who appeared during the reign of Vaivasvata Manu, had 2 arms. Tatharupa, Dvibhuja, Adilakshana. He had 2 arms and so on, with dark blue complexion and so on. We find a description of the first Dhanvantari avatar in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 2nd canto, Lord Brahma says this about him: Dhanvantarishcha Bhagavan Swayameva Kirtar Namna Nanam Puru Rujam Ruja Ashuhanti Yagye cha Bhagam Amritayu Ravavarundha Ayushya Vedam Anushasthyavatir Yaloke. Ayushya Veda is same as Ayurveda. The Lord in his incarnation of Dhanvantari is flame personified. He quickly cures the illnesses of the ever-diseased human beings and enables the demigods to achieve long lives. So it looks like the demigods follow Ayurveda. They don't follow allopathy. He receives a portion of Vedic sacrifices and has inaugurated the knowledge of medical science in the universe. Sri Mohini.
Indian government medical
Sri Mohini. Daityana Mohanaya Sau Pramodaya Chadhur Jate Ajito Mohini Murtya Viravirbhavamagataha. Sri Mohini, to bewilder the demons and then give delight to Lord Shiva. Lord Ajita appeared twice in the form of Mohini. Durjate Shivasya Ajitaha Bhagavan. Ajita here refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kurmadayas Trayaha Ajitasya Avatara. Kurma, Dhanvantari, Mohini, they are incarnations of Ajita. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumara visits Mother Nature, Prakriti, within the region of her covering shell of the universe, he sees her worshipping Sri Mohini. So this is how Maya becomes powerful. She gets her power from Mohini. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Mohini's first appearance in the 8th and 9th chapters of the 8th canto and her second appearance in the 12th chapter. Iti Shashtitra Chatvaro Nrisimhadya Prakirtita. Thus, 4 incarnations beginning with Lord Nrsimha are said to appear in this world in the 6th Manvantara. Nrsimha, Kurma, Dhanvantari, Mohini. Chakshushiye Babu, they appeared in Chakshusha Manvantara. Shri Vamanaha, Tatraiva. Panchadasham Vamanakam Kritva Gadadharam Bale, Padatrayam Yachamana, Pratyadit Sustripishtapam. Iti. Sri Vamana is also described in the 1st canto. In the 15th incarnation, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana Vamana and visited the arena of sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although in his heart he wanted to regain the kingdom of the 3 planetary systems, he simply asked for a donation of 3 steps of land. Vamanasya Vishesha Dharman Vaktum Vamanas Trir Ityadi. Then he brings out certain specific characteristics of Lord Vamana. Vamanas Trir Abhivyaktim Kalpesmin Pratipedi Vam Tatradav Danavendrasya Baskale Radvaram Yayav Tato Vaivasvatiyesmin Dhundor Makham Asau Gataha Aditau Kashyapa Jatas Saptamesya Chaturyuge Pratijagraha Krite no Pratigraha Krite Jatas Traya Eva Trivikrama. Lord Vamana has appeared 3 times in this day of Brahma. The first time he visited the sacrifice of Baskali, king of the demons. During the current Vaivaswata Manvantara, Lord Vamana first went to the sacrifice of Dhundu, and then later, in the 7th Yuga cycle of this Manvantara, he took birth as a son of Kashyapa from the womb of Aditi. Lord Trivikrama has thus appeared 3 times for the purpose of accepting charity. Lord Vamana accepted charity from Baskali in the first Manvantara, that of Swayambhu. His second appearance is mentioned in the Vamana Purana. Tannamne Asurasya. Dhundu refers to an Asura. Yatuktam Vamana. Dhundoryagye Vararohe Bhagavan Madhusudanaha Deham Vamanakam Kritva Gatva Yachat Tripishtapam. O elegant woman, the Supreme Lord Madhusudana assumed the body of a dwarf and went to the sacrifice of Dhundu to beg from him Indra's heaven. The third time Vamana appeared, he tricked Bali into returning Indra's kingdom to him, as described at length in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 17 to 23. Trayopi Vamana Pratigrahinaha Abhuvan. All of these forms, they received the gift of land. In the 2nd canto, Lord Brahma gives the following description of Vamana's third appearance. Jayan Gunairavarajopyadite Sutanam Lokan Vichakrama Iman Yadatha Dhiyagya Kshmam Vamanena Jagahetri Padachalena Yajnam Rite Patichara Prabhubir Nachalya. Although the youngest of Aditi's sons, he possesses qualities that surpass those of all the others. And considering that he stepped over all the planets of the universe, he certainly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the pretense of asking for a measurement of 3 footsteps of land, he took away all the lands of Bali Maharaj. He asked Bali's permission because a person who adheres to the path of religion may not be deprived of property, even by authorities, without giving permission. Nartho Baleraya Murukrama Padashaucham Pashikha Dhritavato Vibudhadipatyam Yo Vai Pratishrutamrite Nachaki Shadanyad Atmanamanga Manasaharaye Bhimene. Bali Maharaj, who put on his head the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet, thought only of keeping his promise. Despite being forbidden by his spiritual master, the king dedicated his own body to fulfilling the measurement of the Lord's third step. For such a personality, even the kingdom of heaven, which he had conquered by his strength, was of no value. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita often mentions the same Lord Vamana. Narada sees Vamana worshipped by his elder brother Indra, and Indra laments to Narada that although Vamana showed his mercy by returning Indra's kingdom, he did it in a way that also humiliated him. Narada gives his opinion that Bali has conquered the Supreme Lord, who now serves as Bali's doorkeeper. Lord Shiva gives his opinion that Lord Vamana became Bali's doorkeeper because he favored Bali's grandfather Prahlad. And Prahlad gives his opinion that Vamana acts as Bali's doorkeeper just to keep Bali captive. Prahlad also tells Narada that Vamana cannot easily be seen at Bali Maharaj's gate. He shows himself only to those whom he chooses, like Durvasa. In the 2nd chapter of the 2nd part of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Gopakumar hears from some Brahmanas about Vamana Dev's avatar and his residence in Indra's court. Gopakumar then goes to heaven and to see Lord Vamana, and there witnesses Indra worshipping him. In that assembly of Devas, Vamana treats Gopakumar very kindly. Sri Bhargava Atraya Avataresho Dashame Pashyan Brahmadruho Nripa Trisaptakritva Kupito Nikshatram Akaron Mahiyam Iti. Sri Bhargava. Bhargava is Parashuram. Is also described in the 1st canto. In the 16th incarnation of the Godhead, the Lord annihilated the administrative class Kshatriyas 21 times, being angry with them because of their rebellion against the Brahmanas. अस्य मातापितरौ जन्मकालं चाह रेणुकेति. The next verse, Sri Rupa Goswami describes his mother, father, and the time of his birth. Renuka Jamadagniphya Gauro Vyaktimasau Gataha Prahu Sapta Dashe Kechit Dvavimshenye Chaturyuge. This golden complexioned incarnation appeared from Renuka and Jamadagni. Some say he descended during the 17th Yuga cycle, but others say he descended during the 22nd. Lord Parshuram appeared as a Brahmana descendant of Bhrigu in either the 17th or the 22nd Chaturyuga of the current Vaivasvata Manvantara. His pastimes are described in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 15 and 16, and in the Brahmanda Purana. Lord Brahma also mentions the Parshuram avatar in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Kshatram Kshayaya Vidhinopa Vrittam Mahatma Brahmad Dhrugujhitapatham Narakar Tilipsu Uddhantyasavavanikantakamugraviriyastrissaptakritva urudhara parashvadhena. When the ruling administrators, who are known as Kshatriyas, turned from the path of the absolute truth, being desirous to suffer in hell, the Lord in his incarnation as the sage Parashurama uprooted those unwanted kings who appeared as the thorns of the earth. Thus he thrice, 7 times, uprooted the Kshatriyas with his keenly sharpened chopper. So when you lament about corrupt governments and so on, just pray to Lord Parashurama. Sri Raghavendra, Tatraiva. Naradevatvam apanna surakarya chikirshaya samudra nigrahadini chakre viryanyatah paramiti. Sri Raghavendra. Sri Raghavendra is Lord Ramachandra, the husband of Sita Devi. Is also described, Sri Raghavendra is also described in the same chapter. In the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama. In order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods, he exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist King Ravana, who lived on the other side of the sea. Asya mata pitaro janmakalam parshadamschahu aha. He then states, he describes the Lord's mother, father, time of his birth, as well as associates. Kaushalyayam Dasharathan Navad Durvadaladhyutihi Tretayam Avirabhavat Chaturvimshe Chaturyuge Bharatena Sumitraya Nandanabhyam Cha Samyutaha. In the Treta Yuga of the 24th Yuga cycle. Yuga cycle is Chaturyuga. Lord Ramachandra appeared through Dasharatha from the womb of Kausalya. His complexion like lustrous new blades of Durva grass. So he was green. He was joined by Bharata and the 2 sons of Sumitra. And he appeared in the 24th Chaturyuga. We are in the 28th Chaturyuga right now. So that is, so Lord Ram didn't appear in the immediately preceding Treta Yuga. He appeared 4 Yuga cycles ago. Lord Ramachandra appeared in the current Vaivasvata Manvantara 4 Yuga cycles ago. 4 Chaturyugas before. And still he is famous. Asya Shastretra Yovyuha Lakshmanadya Ami Smrta Bharatotra Ghanashyama Saumitri Kanaka Prabhu. According to scripture, Lakshmana and Ramachandra's other brothers are his Vyuha expansions. Bharata has a complexion like a dark blue cloud, and the sons of Sumitra have golden complexions. The Rama Gita of the Skanda Purana declares that Lord Ramachandra is Vasudeva, which means that Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna are Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha respectively. अत्र श्रीरामस्य वासुदेवत्वेन निर्णीतत्वात् लक्ष्मणाद्याः त्रयः संकर्षण प्रद्युम्न अनिरुद्ध क्रमान् भूत्या same. पाद्मे भरत शत्रुघ्नौ शंख चक्रतयोदितौ श्रीलक्ष्मणस्तु तत्रैव Shesha Ityabhishamditaha. In the Padma Purana, Bharata and Shatrughna are said to be Lord Vishnu's conch and disc, and Sri Lakshmana is identified as Ananta Shesha. In the first part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, chapter 4, Narada visits Kimpurshaloka, where Hanuman always worships the deity of Lord Ramachandra and recites his glories. The prayers Hanuman sings to Lord Ram are recorded in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the second part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Gopakumar visits the eternal Ayodhya in the spiritual world and is granted intimate association with Lord Ram and his brothers, as described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled in South India, he met a Brahmin devotee of Ramachandra who would not eat because he could not tolerate the idea that the demon Ravana had kidnapped the Lord's consort. Lord Chaitanya rescued this Brahmana by discovering a passage in the Kurma Purana explaining how Ravana had captured only a shadow of Mother Sita created by Maya. Lord Chaitanya's associate Murari Gupta was an incarnation of Hanuman and was fully devoted to Lord Ramachandra. When Lord Chaitanya tried to convince Murari to worship Radha and Krishna instead, Murari made the attempt but could not abandon the lotus feet of his beloved Lord Ram. Lord Chaitanya was completely satisfied with Murari Gupta's unswerving devotion. The Goswamis, Rupa and Sanatan had a similar experience with their brother Anupam when they suggested he give up the worship of Lord Ramachandra and adopt the worship of Lord Krishna. Anupam was the father of Sri Jiva Goswami. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Lord Ramachandra's pastimes in chapters 10 and 11 of the 9th canto. Lord Brahma glorifies him in 3 verses in the 2nd canto. Asmat prasad sumukha kalaya kalesha yikshva vamsha avatirya gurogni deshe tishtan vanam sadayatanuja avivesha yasmin viruddhya dashakandhara atyam archat. Due to his causeless mercy upon all living entities within the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his plenary extensions, appeared in the family of Maharaj Ikshvaku as the lord of his internal potency Sita, under the order of his father, Maharaj Dasharatha. He entered the forest and lived there for considerable years with his wife and younger brother. Ravana, who was very materially powerful, with 10 heads on his shoulders, committed a great offense against him and was thus ultimately vanquished. Yasma adadu udha bhayangavepo makam sapadyaripuram paravadidhaksho dure sukrinmatitaroshi sushona drishtya tatapyamana makarodagra nakrachakra. The personality of God at Ramachandra, being aggrieved for his distant intimate friend Sita, glanced towards the city of the enemy, Ravana, with red hot eyes like those of Hara, who wanted to burn the kingdom of heaven. The great ocean, trembling in fear, gave him his way because its family members, the aquatics, like the sharks, snakes, and crocodiles, were being burnt by the heat of the angry red hot eyes of the Lord. Vankshastalasparsharugna Mahendravaha Tantair Vidambita Kakubjusha Udhahasam Sadyo Subhi Saha Vineshya Tidaraha Turvispurjitair Dhanusha Ucharato Dhisainnye. When Ravana was engaged in the battle, the trunk of the elephant which carried the king of heaven, Indra, broke into pieces, having collided with the chest of Ravana, and the scattered broken parts illuminated all directions. Ravana therefore felt proud of his prowess and began to loiter in the midst of the fighting soldiers, thinking himself the conqueror of all directions. But his laughter, overtaken by joy, along with his very air of life, suddenly ceased with the resounding of the bow of Ramachandra, the personality of Godhead. These two opinions are not wrong. In the Padma Purana version, that Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna are incarnations of Narayana, Anantashesh, Shankha and Chakra. That is not wrong also, because in some kalpas, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, all Vishnu Tattvas, they descend. In some other kalpas, like this, we find. So both explanations have been accepted as being bona fide. Sri Vyasa, तत्रैव ततः सप्तदशे जातः सत्यवत्यां पराशरात् चक्रे वेदतरो शाखा दृष्ट्वा पुंसोऽल्पमेधसः इति. Sri Vyasa is also described in the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vyasadeva appeared from the womb of Satyavati through Parashara Muni. Vyasadeva divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. Dvaipayanosmi Vyasanam iti shaurir yaduchivam ato Vishnu Puranado Visheshenaiva Varnitah. This is the Vyasa whom Sri Krishna indicated with the words, among the Vyasas I am Dvaipayana. That means Vyasa is first of all a post. It's a post of Shaktyavesh actually. But amongst the Vyasas, Dvaipayana is the best. And we will see that now. His uniqueness is also thus described in the Vishnu Purana and other scriptures. Although at the end of each Dwapar Yuga, a different sage is given the role of Vyasa, editor of the Vedas. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa is unique among all of them since he is a Swamshaya expansion of the personality of God, his Vishnu Tattva. Yatha Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhi Narayanam Swayam Gohyanyah Pundarikakshan Mahabharata Krit Bhavet iti. For example, know that Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa is Lord Narayana himself. Who else but the lotus-eyed Supreme Lord could be the author of the Mahabharata? Shruyate Pantaratama Dvaipayanam Magaditi Kim Sayujyam Gato Sotra Vishnamshah Sopiva Bhavet Tasmadavesha Evayam Iti Kechit Vadanti Cha. We hear from scripture that the sage Apantaratama accepted the role of Dvaipayana Vyasa. Apantaratama may have united with Dvaipayana, or he may have also been a partial expansion of Lord Vishnu. Because of such statements, however, some authorities say that Dvaipayana is an Avesha incarnation. Shanakadivad Aveshoyam iti Kechida. So some say that he is like the four Gunaras. It is from the Narayaniya portion of the Mahabharata that we obtain the information that Krishna Dvaipayana was the sage Apantaratama in his previous life. This sage was extremely strict in his observance of austerities. His name indicates that he managed to dispel Apagata, all darkness within his heart, Antaratamas, Apantaratama. Because of this information, some think that Krishna Dvaipayana was an empowered jiva like Sanaka Kumara and his brothers. At any rate, the post of Vyasa is Shaktyavesh. Chaitanya Charitamrita, while talking about Shaktyavesh incarnations, gives Vyasa as an example. So in general, Vyasa is a Shaktyavesh post. The first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapters 4 and 5, relates how Dvaipayana Vyasa received from Narada the instruction to compile the Bhagavatam, and chapter 7, how Vyasa then meditated on the subject of the Bhagavatam, namely Sri Krishna and his energies. Lord Brahma glorifies Srila Vyasa thus. Kale namilita dhiyam avamrishyanrinam stokayusham swanigamo batadura para avirhitastvana yugam sahi satyavatyam vedadrumam vitapasho vibhajishyatisma. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati will consider his compilation of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent persons with short life, and thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of that particular age. Ata Shri Ramakrishna Shri Prathame Ekonavimshe Vimshati me Vrishnishu Prapya Janmani Ramakrishna Vidibhuvo Bhagavan Haradbharam iti. Next, Sri Rama and Krishna, 22 and 23, are mentioned in the first canto. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balaram. and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the Yadu dynasty. And by so doing, he removed the burden of the world. So here, Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavata eva Gokuladi Dhamnaha ayam avatara natu Pradyumnasya ityartha. The very word Bhagavan, this is the first time you see in the list of incarnations from the 4 Kumaras down, first canto, 3rd chapter, from where this list is appearing here. This is the first time an incarnation is referred to as Bhagavan. So this itself indicates that he is Swayam Bhagavan, the original Lord. He is not an incarnation of Pradyumna. With the word Bhagavan, this verse implies that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, the original personality of Godhead. He descends directly from his eternal abode Goloka, and so is not an expansion of the Pradyumna known as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. It will be shown later on that Krishna and his own Chaturvyuha, himself, his brother Balram, his son Pradyumna, and his grandson Aniruddha are not expansions of the Purusha avatar. Shri Krishna Vyuhasya tad amshatva asambhava. It will not be possible to establish that these 4 are incarnations of the Purusha avatar. Tatra Shri Rama. So in this regard, Shri Rama refers to Shri Balaram. Eshamatra dvaye vyakto janakad vasudevataha yo navyakhana sarabho ghanashyamam varasada. Of them, Shri Rama is described as follows. He appeared through Vasudeva from 2 mothers. He has a complexion the color of camphor. He always wears garments the color of a dark blue rain cloud. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Balaram is repeatedly referred to as Rama. Not that he is not addressed in other ways or referred to in other ways, but definitely he is referred to as Rama. Lord Balaram first entered the womb of Devaki and then was conveyed by Yogamaya into the womb of Rohini. Thus, he literally had 2 mothers. Sankarshanodvitiyo yo yoho Ramas evahi prithvi dharena sheshena sambhuya vyaktim ivan. This Rama expands as Sankarshana, the second of the Supreme Lord's Vyuha forms. When Rama appears, Shesha, the bearer of the earth, unites with him. The expansion of Ananta Shesh, who holds the earth on his hoods, is also called Sankarshana. That makes sense, since Shesha, who expands from Lord Balaram, reunites with him when Balaram appears on earth. Sheshodvi vidha mahidhari shayyarupascha shanginaha tatra sankarshana veshat bhubrit sankarshano mataha shayyarupastas tatha tasya sakhya dasyabhimanavan. Lord Shesha has 2 forms, as the holder of the earth and as Lord Sharangi's bed. The holder of the earth is called Sankarshana because he is an Avesha expansion of the original Sankarshana. The other form of Shesha, the bed of Lord Vishnu, thinks himself the Supreme Lord's friend and servant. The first of these 2 Sheshas is a Jiva, and the other a plenary portion of Balaram. Adyo Jiva Koti, Antispishura Kotir Ityarza. First is in the Jiva category, and the second is in the Supreme Lord category. Since Lord Balaram is Sri Krishna's constant companion, he is glorified extensively in the devotion scriptures, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, it would be difficult to cite all these references here. Those who are interested, however, can find descriptions of Lord Balaram in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, first part, chapters 6 and 7, and second part, chapters 6 and 7. There are also descriptions in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this solves a puzzle that why Madhvacharya keeps referring to Lord Balaram as the one who holds the earth. That is because he also entered into Balaram's body. So just as Pradyumna can be referred to as Kamadeva, Balaram can be referred to as that Anantashesha, who is actually a living entity. Sri Krishna, Eshamatari Devakyam Piturranakatundubhe Pradurbhuto Ghanashyama Dubhjopi Chaturbhujaha. Sri Krishna, he appeared through Anakadundubi from his mother Devaki, having a complexion like a dark blue rain cloud and manifesting sometimes 2 arms and sometimes 4. Yadyapyayam Yashodayascha Jataha, even though he is also born from Yashoda, Tathaiva Pramana Sadbhava, because there is evidence to that effect. Tathapi Rahasyatva Shastra Krita, Nasputi Krita, Ityupari Nivedayishyamam. Because it is a confidential fact, the author of this sacred book has not clarified it here. We will explain. We will present this information later on. While it is true, as corroborated by scripture, that Krishna took birth simultaneously from Devaki and Yashoda, because this is confidential information, Srila Rupa Goswami does not mention it here. It's not that everything has to be stated everywhere. For instance, in Krishna book, Prabhupada has not brought out this information. But in his own commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he has brought out this information. So the great acharyas know when to say what. The passages from devotion scriptures cherished by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers focus primarily on Sri Krishna's glories. There are many such passages. For example, the last 2 chapters of part 1 of Bhagavatamrita, the last 3 chapters of that book's part 2, many passages throughout Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the entire 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam's 3rd canto, chapters 2 and 3, Uddhava remembers Krishna with special poignancy just after his disappearance. I might as well also add that the entire 11th canto is also dedicated to establishing the transcendence of Lord Sri Krishna, according to Jiva Goswami's own Brahmasutta. In the 2nd canto, Lord Brahma praises Krishna's pastimes in 10 verses, beginning with this one. Bhume Suretara Varutha Vimardita Yaklesha Vyayaya Kalaya Sita Krishna Kesha Jatah Karishyati Janan Palakshyamagah Karunani Chatma Mahimopanipantanani. When the world is overburdened by the fighting strength of kings who have no faith in God, the Lord, just to diminish the distress of the world, descends with his plenary portion. The Lord comes in his original form with beautiful black hair. And just to expand his transcendental glories, he acts extraordinarily. No one can properly estimate how great he is. Sri Buddha Tatraiva Tatah Kalosam Pravritte Sammohaya Suradvisham Buddho Namna Janasutah Kikateshu Bhavishyati Iti. Sri Buddha is also described there. Then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theists. According to some manuscripts of Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse gives the name of Lord Buddha's father, Ajina, rather than that of his mother, Anjana. Ajina Sutta, Kikateshu Bhavishyati. It's another reading. Buddho Namna Ajina Sutta. It would have been better if that reading was adopted here, because that is Sri Baladevi Devotion's reading also. Okay. Aso Vyaktah Kalerabda Sahasradvitaye Gade Murte Patala Varanasya Vibhuja Chikurojjita. He appeared after 2000 years of Kali Yuga had passed. That means 1000 BC or something. No? He had a rose complexion, manifested 2 arms, and kept his head shaven. यदा सूत कथामाह तदा बुद्धस्य भाविता अधुना वृत्त एवायं धर्मारण्ये यदुद्गतः. Suta spoke on the topic of Lord Buddha before he had actually appeared. Since then, he has taken birth in the village of Dharmaranya. Dharmaranya is in the district of Gaya, which was mentioned by Suta Goswami. Kikateshu Bhavishyati. Dharmaranya is a village in the region of Gaya. Dharmaranya Kyeshu Gaya Pradesheshu. Lord Brahma also describes this avatar. Devad Vishamnikam Avartmane Nishchitanam Purbhir Mayena Vihitabhir Adrishyatur Lokan Knatam Mati Vimoham Mati Pralobham Vesham Vidhaya Bahubhashyatau Patharmyam. When the atheists, after being well versed in Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. Actually, according to Jiva Goswami, this refers to a different Buddha in a different day of Brahma or something like that. But here, Sri Rupa Goswami is only talking of incarnations within one day of Brahma. Sri Kalki, Atraiva. अथासो युगसन्ध्यायां दस्युप्रायेषु राजसु जनिता विष्णु यशस्सो नाम्ना कल्किर्जगत्पतिः इति. Shri Kalki is also described in the 3rd chapter of the 1st canto. Thereafter, at the conjunction of 2 yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. Who is this Vishnu Yasha? Purvam Manu Dasharatho Vasudevo Yasa Vabhut Bhavi Vishnu Yashaschayam Iti Padme Prakirtitam. The Padma Purana reveals that Swayambhuva Manu appeared as Dasharatha and then as Vasudeva, and that in the future he will become Vishnu Yasha. Swayam Bhagavat Pitrutvad iti tadabhipraya. Puro Manu Dasharathas cha bhut. Swayambhuva Manu, it is not clear whether there is no information here that it simply says Manu, it doesn't say Swayambhuva Manu. Yeah, I think it's safer to say that Padma Purana reveals that Manu appeared as Dasharatha and then as Vasudeva, and that in the future he will become Vishnu Yasha. According to the Padma Purana, the future father of Lord Kalki, the learned Brahmana Vishnu Yasha, has been the Supreme Lord's father in at least 2 other lifetimes. Aishwaryam Kalkinastasya Brahmande Sushtu Varnitam Kaishyat Kalau Kalau Buddha Syat Kalki Chetyudiryate. A good description of Lord Kalki's glories is found in the Brahmanda Purana. Some say that both Buddha and Kalki appear in each Kali Yuga. Oh, some do have this opinion. An alternative opinion about the descent of these 2 avatars is that they appear only during the 28th Kali Yuga of each Manvantara. Kaishyaditi, Buddha Kalkinam, Prati Kalau Syatamati Kaishin Matam. Anyastu Ashtavimshat Chatur Yuga Kala Veveti Bhava. So some think that they both appear in every Kali Yuga. That means in every Chatur Yuga you find Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. So in every Kali Yuga, some say Buddha and Kalki appear, whereas some others hold the opinion that only in the 28th Chatur Yuga, in that particular Kali Yuga, they both appear. Speaking of Lord Kalki, Brahma says, Yarhyalayesh Api Satam Hare Kathasyu Pashandino Dujajana Vrishala Nirdeva Swaha Swatha Vashaditi Sma Giroma Yatra Shasta Bhavishyati Kale Bhagavan Yugante. At the end of Kali Yuga, when there will be no more discussion on the subject of God, even at the residences of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher varnas, when the twice-born brahmanas will have all become atheists, when the power of government will have been transferred to the hands of wicked persons, when nothing will remain known of the techniques of sacrifice, and when the sacred words swaha, swatha, and vashat will not be heard at all, at that time the Lord will appear as a supreme chastiser. At least now people, at least they know that swaha, swatha, vashat, they're at least some people know that these are Vedic mantras chanted in India as of now. Ashto Vaivasvati Ye Mi Kathita Vamana Dayaha. The last 8 incarnations just described, beginning with Vamana Deva, all occur during the Vaivasvata Manvantara. Alkyanta Vaivasvi. These 8 avatars are Vamana, Parshuram, Ramachandra, Vedavyasa, Balaram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. Kalpavatara ityete kathita panchavimshati pratikalpam yatah praya sakrit pradhurbhavantyami iti Leelavatara nirupanam. Thus we have described 25 Kalpavataras. Most of them appear once in each day of Brahma. This ends the description of the Leelavataras. Exceptions to the rule of Kalpavataras appearing only once in a day of Brahma include Lord Varaha, who descends twice, and Lord Matsya, who descends 14 times. Varahadvirav syat Matsyastu Chaturdasha Kritva iti bhava. The Prabhasa Khanda of Sri Skanda Purana names the 30 kalpas or days that occur in each month of Brahma. Prathama Shveta Kalpastu Dvitiyo Nila Lohita Vamadevastati Yastu Tato Gathantaro Paraha. The first kalpa is called Shveta, the second Nila Lohita, the third Vamadeva, and the next Gathantara. Rauravah Panchamah Prokta Shashta Pranayati Smrta Saptamotha Brihat Kalpa Kandar Poshtama Uchyate. The fifth is called Raurava, the sixth Prana, the seventh Brihat, and the eighth Kandarpa. Savyothanava Prokta Ishano Dashamasprita Dhyana Ekadasha Proktas Tatha Saraswato Paraha. The ninth is called Savya, the 10th Ishana, the 11th Dhyana, and the next Saraswata. Trayodasha Udanastu Garudotha Chaturdasha Gaurva Panchadasho Geya Paurnamasi Prajapate. The 13th is the Udana Kalpa, the 14th Garuda, and the 15th is the Kaurma Kalpa, which is considered the full moon day of Prajapati Brahma. Okay. Shodasho Narasimhastu Samadhistu Tato Paraha Agneyo Vishnuja Saura Somakalpastato Paraha. The 16th day is Narasimha, followed by Samadhi, Agneya, Vishnuja, Saura, and Soma. Dvavimsho Bhavana Prokta Supumaniti Chaparaha Vaikuntascha Chishastadvat Valmi Kalpastato Paraha. The 22nd day is called Bhavana, followed by Supuman, Vaikuntha, Archisha, and Valmi. Saptavimshotha Vairajo Gauri Kalpastatha Para Maheshwaras Tatha Proktas Tripuro Yatra Ghatitaha. The 27th is Vairaja, then Gauri, and then Maheshwara, when the 3 cities of the demons are destroyed. 1 minute. Pitrikalpastathamte cha yahuhu brahmana smritaha trimshat kalpa samakhyata brahmano divasai sada. At the end is the Pitrikalpa, thought of as the new moon day of Brahma. The 30 kalpas known by these names always correspond to the days of Lord Brahma's month. Atitascha bhavishyascha varaho vartate dhuna pratipad brahmana prokta dvitiya sasya sampratam. These kalpas have occurred in the past and will occur in the future. The present kalpa, known as Varaha, is considered the first day in the second half of Brahma's life. Iha Shveta, Shveta Varaha, Ayameva Brahmotpatti Samayatva Brahma. Okay. The kalpa named Shveta or Shveta Varaha is also called the Brahma kalpa because Brahma took birth during the Shveta Varaha kalpa. The particular Pitrikalpa, 30th day that comes at the end of the first half of Brahma's life, is known also as the Padma Kalpa because at that time the worlds are recreated from the lotus flower on which Brahma was born. In each Kalpa there are 14 Manvantaras. Ekasya Kalpasya Manvantarani Chaturdasha Bhavanti. Ekasya Manvantarasya Ekasaptatish Chaturyugan. And each Manvantara, yes, includes 71 cycles of 4 ages. Chaturdashi Manvantaratmakasya Sahasram Chaturyugani iti. Altogether, there are nearly 1000 yuga cycles in one kalpa. All right. Okay.